and let the show begin, Jeff. Another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast, and I believe this number, just off the top of your head, Jeff, what do you think episode number we're at today? I mean, knowing that we were at 198 yesterday, where do you think we're at today? Okay. 7?
2? 7? 2? 2? If 198 yesterday, but we did 198.
Yes.
So now I'm confused. So is this 199?
God. Everybody, I tell you, before we hit the recording button, I was going, Jeff comes on, he's just doing this goofy stuff, and I'm going, what was I thinking 199 days ago that this would actually be, but here we are. Anyway.
I thought it was a trick question,
All right. So another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast, which, by the way, we are publishing every day. We're not recording every day, but we are actually publishing every day. And tomorrow's 200. I'll let you know right now that since 199 is today, tomorrow's 200. Just so you know. Yeah, you got it. But we are. God, I'm just completely screwed up right now. So what are we doing here? Before we get into the free coaching call we've got for everybody, let's do that at the end so that I can actually get to today's question, which I thought, or I think, is a great question from one of our students and a tournament player who mentioned that, and here's the question. Said, you guys have been using the word clarity quite a bit. Everyone wants clarity when they play. What is it? And what are some practical things people can do to practice achieving it? And, mentions here, for some reason I found it last week at my tournament. I know what I did to get it, but now the question is, can I do it again? What can I be practicing now to be able to draw on that again on a different day, different opponent, different circumstances, etc.? So I think the initial thing is, clarity. What is it? What is it in your mind? I mean, when you're playing, Jeff, or when you're helping coaching someone, what does clarity in a match mean to you? And then either, and I don't want to even start to use the term the zone or, all that other stuff. I'm not talking about finding the zone. I'm talking about how do you get clarity in a match? And that some days it just kind of shows up, right? Can we find a way to, I won't even say manufacture it, but can we find a way to kind of bring that feeling back?
Well, I think, what is clarity? Clarity, again, this is, somebody I coach who asked this question. Clarity is getting down, first I'd say clarity is what's the goal? We're going to embark on this journey, and then clarity is where are we headed, right? And now that can adjust a little bit along the way depending on what's happening. But so there's number one, clarity about where we headed.
So you're saying intellectually you've got to be able to almost write out what's the goal.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with your tennis game, rather than saying, I just want to play a little better. I want to get more consistent.
Yeah, and I just want to get better isn't a goal.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a loosely affiliated statement,
right?
That's attached kind of to nothing, right?
So you're saying that you got to start with knowing. You got to start with knowing what's your goal in terms of in my case, if you were to ask me, well, what's your goal, and I would sort of have to tell you, well, here's who I am as a player, and here are the area where I just am not consistent. And if my opponent knows what that is, and they're good enough to, take advantage of it, then I got problems in that area. So you're saying you got to be able to define what the goal is first. What area, where do you want to take your game? And then you got to be able to define, I would assume, well, what are you going to do
Right.
You're here right
So,
now and you want to be here. What do you have to do to kind of bridge those two things? So you have to have clarity in that. I think what this player is saying, that stuff's done. I've already
right.
done that work. So
Right.
once I get in the match, how do I get clarity so that there's not a lot of, well, here comes a forehand. Let's
Right.
see. I could go up the line, I could go in the middle, I could go cross court, I could drop it, I
Right.
could loop it, I could blah, 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 blah.
I could half loop it.
You're,
Sorry.
You're going back a couple of episodes to
Sorry.
197, half loop.
Sorry. Anyway, but yeah. So as you know, as you read the question there, it kind of comes down to this, like she had it, a week and a half ago, whatever, and it was clear to her what to do, how to do it, execution, and she did it, and the results showed. And so now it comes down to there's nothing new to add right now. We're not going to it's not like, you're winning the match. We won the first set. It's 5-4. I know I haven't done this yet. Some crazy idea, like maybe I should deploy this plan, something I've never worked on, something I really don't know anything about, a plan, a strategy that I'm not.
But you're
So
super
the idea
clear.
is,
But you're super clear about this thing that I've never done before. Why not?
So here's what I'm getting at is that now we have some proof in the pudding. The work has been done. We're starting to get the results we want. Stay the course, because we have to get better and more clear that staying the course, doing the work, the continued work on the court that she's already doing, continue to do that. So that when you're on the court, you just become more confident in deploying the tactics. You become more confident in your swing freedom. You become more confident in your mental capability to stay on script, to not wander at the end of a match and think I need to deploy some new strategy I saw on YouTube last night. Is that the clarity will only become more clear as you stay the course. And then as you do that, okay, let's I feel like I need to tweak my volley a little bit. It could be better. Okay, we're going to add that little wedge in there and make that better, which then adds a new layer of pattern work. And yes, now maybe, hey, it's the end of the first set here. I'm up 40-15. Let's see if I can sneak out of this now with a good serve and volley, because I'm confident in my first volley now. I've done the work. I know it's available in my toolbox. I know how to do it. I'm confident in it. Let's deploy that now, right? So for me, the question is not about like, okay, what do I do now? Don't do anything different. Build confidence on top of the confidence you already built. So for me, like the story I can tell you for me is, I remember when I went from 0 ranking in the men's open in NorCal to number 17. I think I actually even mentioned this like 5, 6, 7 episodes ago on a totally different subject. And I remember the very first tournament after the rankings that was going to be counted now toward the next year. And I remember going to the event. It used to be, I think it was in November, like just before Thanksgiving. It was down in Carmel at the Hyatt down there. I don't know if you remember that event, Brent. But it was a men's open, and it was highly attended. It was one of the like favorites of the year because it was in Carmel, right? And I remember walking up and at the draw sheet, and my name's in red. I think I was the 6th seed or something like that. And I had this panic attack. Like, it hit me. Oh my gosh, I got to beat all these guys again. And I had this like emotional, like, holy smokes. And it was like, it was real, right? And Sherm was with me, and he kind of talked me off the ledge and said, Jackie, you still have your forehand, you still have your serve, your skill set hasn't changed. what you do hasn't changed. So first round here, I want you just to focus and do the work. And you work your ass off this first round to get through this first round. And so I did. I just kept my head down and just kept stay focused on the task at hand, stay focused on, stay on script. And I got through it, good first round player. I think I got through it 2-2. Match was probably tighter than the score actually sounds. But it was just this huge relief getting through that and knowing I didn't need to do anything magical. I didn't need to change tactics. I didn't need to have some new thing that I didn't have a week ago when the rankings came out. And so I know exactly what, this person is asking for. And that's it, is that now it's time to stay the course and to build more confidence on top of the foundation that we've built.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, look, I think that's all good stuff, and I think that there's another word that comes to mind when you were talking about clarity, and to me, the word is trust. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
you were mentioning about, well, just keep doing what you've been doing, and at some point you have to trust that that's kind of your best strategy. Is that whatever you've been working on with the coach or whatever you've been working on the practice court, and you get out there and you're playing against someone maybe you've never beaten before, or you're just 50-50 every time. It's always a dogfight, a close match. But I think the trust is that if I keep doing the thing that I've been working on, and if I stop thinking about winning, or I stop thinking about possibly losing, if I just wipe that out, and right. All I'm going to do is just continue to do the thing, and that is trusting that if you continue to do the thing, it's never a guarantee. I think everyone's looking for, well, what's the right. magic bullet that if I do this thing, Jeff, look, man, you got to give me a 100% guarantee on these lessons. Right. Come on, man, right. If I do this, right, you're right. And it just doesn't work that way. And I think too often we get thinking about winning and or losing, and that's when the clarity goes out the window, and I think that you stop trusting that right. this thing, this play, this simple. I mean, for me, my thing was in the semis of the hard courts last month in Irvine, playing the number 1 seed, a guy I'd never beaten before, and I had a game plan. And I'm holding on by my fingernails, trying to trust that if I just keep doing this thing,
right?
I don't know if I'm going to win because I've never beaten the guy. So the chances, maybe the chances are now the odds are in your favor. I don't know however you want to think about it. But right. I had to not think about, that thing. Well, I got to play my game, but I got to play it better than I've ever played it before.
Right.
And I got to play it at the high level, point after point after point. No. I've got this pattern working, and I just trust it. Just right. Trust it. And so I did, and it ended up working out. So when I was done, I had some big time clarity about what just happened, and so to answer the question, which is how do you recreate it the next time you go play? Well, it's kind of like, what's your plan for the next time? You can't go out there and just kind of, throw, open up the can, throw the balls out there, and what do you want, up or down? And, well, let's go and see what
right.
happens.
Right.
You got to have some plan. It doesn't have to be a super complicated, detailed, in-depth right. plan, but it's got to be a plan on that day against this specific opponent. And it could be that on that day, it could be the same opponent, but now all of a sudden, it's super windy, and it's super cold, and it's kind of misty, and the conditions are, and it might be that right. the plan is, well, we got to actually do something different today. So there's clarity in the plan, and look, now we might get into, well, now all of a sudden I'm down a set and a break, and the plan's not working. Okay, I'm pretty clear right. on that. I'm pretty darn clear on that. So maybe right. I've actually thought about earlier today before I went out, what if the plan doesn't work? Well, what do you want to try next? And lots of times, I think you can't totally pre-plan, script right. out a plan B, because what's not happening with plan A, Well, if you go to plan B, that's going to be even worse.
Could be.
So it could be. So you may have to kind of tweak it on the fly in the side chains, try to get some clarity rather than sitting there and woe is me. Gosh darn it, I lost first set after I was up a break and now I'm down, 3-zip in the second. Oh, woe is me. I'm such a loser, blah, blah. All that crap. So, yeah, I mean, how do you get it next time? You got to have a plan and you got to go out and you got to execute the plan. You got to trust it.
Yeah.
You got to trust it. It might work. It might not work. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Right.
But so there you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Good stuff as always. Well, guys, listen. The free coaching call. If you're not clear on what you're doing with your game, if you're not clear on some matches, whatever happened in a recent match, whether it's singles or doubles, let's get on a private, free 10-minute coaching call. You, me, and Jeff conference call. And let's chat about that thing and see if Jeff and I can't help you put you on a different path to start getting that clarity and the result you want next time you go out there. The way to get on that call, go over to goalballhunting.com, drop in a first name and email address, click the button, and you will get access to our online calendar scheduler where you can cherry pick the date and time that works bueno for you and your life. So, Jeff, what do we want the fine folks to do right now?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Yeah, and more than let us know what you think, man, let us know where you want some help, specific help in your game. Singles, doubles, stroke technique, tactics, mental, fitness. There's just a few things to maybe kind of jog the old noggin into some way that we might be able to help you. We want to hear from you in the comment section. Guys, on that, thanks for hanging out with us again today. Get out there. Help someone else have a great day. Jeff, let's do this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.